Movement Press is the new vibe.
So house music first found me by way of my first teacher, mentor, big brother, Gabriel Aqua Lemus. And yeah, man, he showed me a lot of beautiful music and videos, and really, to be honest, it was through the videos that I was saying that he was showing me of these incredible dancers getting down in ways that I've never even seen before, you know. Up until this time, and I'm talking around 2006, I was in high school. I was a freshman in high school, and I was familiar with what breaking was, but I never really knew house dance, right? Up until he started showing me some videos of my now big brothers and crewmates, family, Orb, Free, Seth, you know, all the OGs, Latif, like everybody, you know, everybody in the crew, getting down to just this music that was new to me. It was completely new to me. And it wasn't so much electric, tectonic, you know, things that people were listening to, because at the time, you know, people started listening to more techno and just, I would say, like festivalish sounding music. This was more soulful, more, I couldn't even describe it at the time, you know, it was just different. But I knew that it made me want to move in a way that I wasn't moving and didn't fully know how to move in yet, you know? So, I mean, I remember, you know, he'd show me some videos, and for example, there was one video of my crew, Soul Shifters, getting down. This was before I was in Soul Shifters, getting down, and the backtrack to the video was, it's called Balmes or Balms, I'm not even too sure how to pronounce it, by Ian Pulley featuring Estero. It's a radio edit version, or I think it's the vocal mix. One of those. It's really good, but I remember this song was just playing, and man, it just made everything feel so good and so, like, you know, alive. And then I listened to some tracks that had like some Dennis Ferrer, and I listened to some other tracks that just had this really soulful, just feeling. I can't even describe, you know, it was so deep. It was deeper than what I was used to at the time, because mind you, you know, I was familiar again with breaking and the breaks and the drums and the hi-hat and all of that, but this music really just resonated at a different level, on a different frequency, and it made me feel a lot deeper and want to move in ways that, for me, at the time, felt very uncomfortable but natural. And what I mean by that is, you know, more fluid-like, less rigid, more, dare I say, feminine, if you will, but just softer around the edges, right? But yeah, man, that's when I first became exposed to house music, when I really found out about it, when I started learning about what this music was, and what made me stick to it was just the feeling that I got from it and the way it made me want to move, because it was really breaking away from having to always be hard and structured and rigid to now being soft and, you know, organic and fluid and shape-shifting and soul-shifting and all these things, you know. And so I just really loved what I was creating with this music, you know. Latin Heat, Soul Shifter, man. Latin Heat started off as a joke. Real quick, the backstory. We were in a warehouse. There was a b-boy battle happening, and Co-Flow, part of my crew, Circle of Fire, Soul Shifter, and my big brother, Power Surge, Beats and Pieces crew, Fremont. They just happened to put me down as someone who was going to compete that day, and they put me down down as Latin Heat. I did not know. And when they were calling out for the name, they were like, all right, everyone get ready. It's about to get hot in here, because it was cold. It was cold in the warehouse. And I remember looking around, like, what's going on? And then all of a sudden they're like, give it up for Latin Heat. And I just remember thinking, man, this is the cheesiest name ever. And then I'm looking for this person, Latin Heat, and I turn around and both Koflo and Serge are pointing right at me, and I'm like, damn, I'm Latin Heat. And so what started off as a cringeworthy moment, you know, just kind of being like, this is who people think I am now. What is this? I don't even like this name, you know? What started off as like a cringe-worthy moment really became something far more profound, right? It not only represents my culture, my cultural roots, my background, right? I'm Mexican American, I'm a Chicano, a Latino, and I proudly wear that everywhere I go around the world and even here at home. But it really, you know, it goes beyond that. It goes beyond the cultural roots of who I am. For me now, it's a representation of my inner flame. It's the energy, the strength, the warmth that I have to really bring people together like a bonfire and bring or help bring stories to life in a way, right? I like to think that the warmth, the energy, the fire that I have to give, which I love to share with people, whether it's in the cypher or in the darkness of the corner of the club, I love to think that my energy really encourages others to tap into their truth, right? And so that's what Latin Heat for me has started more so to represent, aside from also being this, you know, energetic side of me, because I'm a very patient, calm, grounded, mellow individual, but like I can really turn up the heat, you know, when it comes to tapping in and catching the ghost and going off in a cipher and really, you know, just tapping into the source, man. It's like tapping into the source and setting myself ablaze. So my dance is directly informed and influenced by music. Music in itself highly influences the direction, the pace, the speed, the timing, the feeling, all of it, when I'm in the middle of, you know, dancing, or even when I'm about to begin dancing, right? If I start strong or if I start soft and slow, it has to do with the music that's being played and what it's making me want to convey, what I'm wanting to tell in the cipher or wherever I am in that given moment, right? The way that I would describe the house scene here in California, specifically the Bay Area, because California is a big place, but the house scene here in the Bay Area, in Oakland, San Francisco, San Jose, out here, I would describe it as a very loving, embracing, encouraging environment. Compared to a lot of the places that I've been to around the world, and I'm fortunate to say that the Bay continues to be one of the places that I feel truly allows people to be just who they are without applying any sort of pressure to make people, fit a certain look or style or do a certain step or whatever it may be. I honestly believe and feel that my community wholly accepts and encourages people to just be them through and through, right? right? To claim the movement as theirs and to wear it proudly, right? That's my direct experience within my community, compared to other places where I've been to, where yes, it has aspects of that, freedom, the sense of being oneself, but also there's these, other things present that kind of make it different than what we have here. California's house scene is not a battle scene by any means, at least not here in the Bay, but it is a party scene. And I think because of that, that's why it is the way that I just described, right? Being a party scene, not everybody is trying to one-up each other. Instead, everybody's really trying to come together in community and uplift one another and just have a good time. Just leave it all on the dance floor. That's really what it is, and I honestly appreciate that. It would be nice to have more events where one could, test themselves in the arena, so to say, but the feeling and energy I hope people walk away with when they see me move, when they feel me move, because honestly that's the goal, to get people to feel what you're feeling, right? Even just through the visual. I want people to feel not intimidated, but rather inspired to move as they are. And that's been a personal mission of mine. When I've taught classes, the very few that I've taught, I'm big on helping people find themselves within the movement. Not so much teaching people how to do certain steps or how to be like me. I'd rather very much so teach people how to lean into the steps that feel good for them. Of course, learning the vocabulary, if you will, or, whatever steps are considered foundation, but within that, truly finding themselves within the moment and the movement. So if anything, when I move and people are, witnessing me do my thing, I hope they feel inspired and not just, wanting to tap into that level or energy of creativity, but to just be so carefree in the way that they move, that they are being their honest, most authentic self in any given moment, because that's where the most joy exists, right? So that's what I hope people are walking away with. And I've had the honor of having people walk up to me and say these things where it's like, man, I really appreciate the way you move and, the way you're making me feel. They reflect to me that what I'm saying, that, they're inspired to just speak their language, and be their authentic selves. And that to me is inspiring as well, So they walk away feeling empowered, and I walk away feeling empowered and motivated and inspired by them, So yeah, that's what I want people to feel, to walk away with, but ultimately feel, especially the new people, because they're the ones that have so much more to offer the culture, Everybody already doing this thing, that has been doing this thing for a long time. We're still out here contributing, right? But it's the new people that have so much to give, and sometimes we fall victims of becoming cookie cutter, students, and dimming our own lights. And the best way to prevent that from happening is to really, encourage people to just step into their own flame, be their own heat, right?